So what about this point about the difficulty of maybe I chose a too easy an example, the brain. How is it that the human brain, which evolved to do really rather mundane things...
To not get eaten by lions, yeah.
To not get eaten by lions in the Pleistocene of Africa, because as you'll learn this evening, we are all Africans. We all come from Africa, and our brains were shaped by natural selection on the African plains to do things that involve objects like this. I mean, medium-sized objects. Macroscopic objects that don't move anywhere near the speed of light. It's a tremendous tribute to our species that we are capable, at least some of us are capable, of understanding things that don't belong on that ordinary macroscopic, slow-moving scale.
Yeah, and so therein is the value to us, not only of the methods and tools of science, but also of the language of the universe that we call mathematics. Remarkable thing, a point first advanced by Eugene Wigner, that math has an unreasonable utility in the universe since we just invented it out of our heads. You don't discover math under a rock, as you might find a Grubbs. You invent it out of whole cloth. Yet, it empowers us to provide accurate and predictive descriptions and understandings of the universe. And so what comes of this is you learn to abandon your senses. You train yourself to abandon your senses because you recognize how they can fool you into thinking one thing is true that is not. You abandon them. You use your tools that do the measuring to say, okay, that's the reality. Then you make a mathematical model of that you can manipulate logically, because math is all about the logical extension of one point to another, and then you can make new discoveries about the world that, frankly, you'll just have to get used to. No longer do you have the right is not the right word, but no longer do you have the, no longer are you justified saying that idea in science is not true because it doesn't make sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So nobody cares about your senses.
Yes.
Your senses came out, forget the Serengeti, just growing up. As a kid, something's in your hand, you let go of it, it falls. You tip a glass, water spills. You are assembling a rule book for how nature works in the macroscopic world. The microscope takes you smaller than that, the telescope takes you bigger, and other laws of physics manifest themselves in those regimes that you have no life experience reckoning. And so it's math that allows you to take these incremental steps beyond the capacity of your senses and perhaps even the capacity of your mind. Yes, it's the mind that's taking the steps, but your mind was not deducing that by just looking at the world with your senses. It was helped out. It was aided by these tools that, yes, that we invented.